This is a GK Media podcast.
This podcast is part of the GK Media Studios Creators Network, helping people tell their stories. Become a storyteller today and learn about our podcaster network at gkmediastudios.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Wellth Talks with myself, Garry Kelly. We have Niall Leyden in the house and Pádraic on Máille. And today we want to focus on something that I think anyone in business will very much be able to relate to. And it's being the busy fool. And I want to start talking first about myself.
I'm glad you're not looking at me. I didn't know I was going to get that ball first.
I'm very happy. No arguments here, Garry.
So I start off as the silly fool and then become the busy fool and I know it's something I shouldn't do, but I start every morning when I wake up by checking my phone. And I check what emails I've gotten in. And straight away, I'm in reaction mode because it's like, okay, this person's looking for a response. This person's looking for a file. This person's looking for a quote and so on. So straight away, my day is dictated by the emails that I first see in the morning. And I'm onto the computer and I'm tapping away, getting things done. So I'm in reaction mode first thing in the day rather than action mode. Setting up my stall, planning what I want to achieve for the day, having then a productive day. So at the end of the day, I could be flat to the mat, exhausted, saying that was a busy day, but then also annoyed at myself because I feel it wasn't a productive day because I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve for myself, that I was thinking about maybe Sunday evening, sitting at home on the couch with the family saying, okay, this week I'm going to do X, Y, Z for myself. And it is this thing of being the busy fool. You know, you clock in at 9, you clock out at 5, got loads done. I was busy. But like, how productive, how beneficial was today for me, for my business, for my family? And I know I need to knock it on the head, but what experience have you of this?
Look at everything you said. I think we can all just relate to. I mean, it's my least favourite word in the dictionary. It's a conversation I have with my brother Brian in Sligo. He's a fabulous business, but that word busy was creeping into all of our conversations. So we've very politely eliminated it now. And I mean, people wear it like a badge of honour.
People saying, I'm busy.
I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. And everyone is busy. But I mean, there's a difference between being focused and being frantic. It goes back to, I suppose, and the only reason I know this so well is I've 30 years making all of these mistakes, is being organised. On the morning, on the day. And Sunday evening, a little trick that we have in Smácht where you get a half an hour just to plot and plan the week. Who do you need to see? What do you need to follow up on? What do you need to do? Write it down, make it happen. And generally it does. But I mean, it's a modern day addiction. It's like me too with the phones, the two kids, phones, smartphones, Zooms, Teams. Choose your hard. If you always do what's easy, you'll have a hard life. If you always do what's hard, you'll have an easy life. And I mean, busy, but
it is an addiction though.
But I think it's like a drug. It's like crack. It's like cocaine. It's just like everyone busy. How are you? I'm busy. And so talk me through it. And then when you strip it all away, it's a hamster wheel, isn't it, Pádraic?
If we go back to what you said a few weeks ago, Pádraic, actually, you said, I loved COVID. But what you actually loved was during COVID, you got your work done by 12 o'clock, lunchtime, whatever. And then you had the afternoon to walk with the dog, go for a swim, do whatever you wanted to do because you weren't a busy fool. You know, isn't that the thing that we love? It's actually that when we look back at COVID, we all talk about how good the weather was and going for the 5K walks and seeing the flowers growing and like we actually got to witness day by day nature in front of our eyes because we'd nothing else for doing. So we were out walking and out seeing, the trees blossoming and so on. We weren't caught in front of a computer screen or a phone screen or whatever, being the busy fools. And that's really what I think we love so much about COVID, isn't it?
Well, it's slowing down to speed up.
Yeah.
I mean, people, if we say to some of our elders, you're taking a day off. You're taking a day off? What time are you in the office this morning? I didn't get into, you didn't start till 9, 10 o'clock. I mean, that's outrageous. That's really like you used to get the whole in school. Was it the cane or the wooden spoon?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, and I've shared this with you both before, I kind of did an informal audit of my top 20 clients, and there's 17 of them that protect their time like their health. They take a day out of their business every month, slow down to speed up and see what's working. It's nearly like doing the old SWOT analysis. You go back to Aidan Daly and Jim, Jim Ward,
Jim Ward,
and looking at and kind of just stepping back from the business. But we all just love being busy. Heads down, bottoms up.
Yeah.
I did a session 30 years ago. It was for AIB. It was, I think, a senior team in AIB. And I always remember the guy's name was Donald de Whitler. I knew him very well. And he was one of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life. Absolutely brilliant, genius. And he took over this new department and he asked me to facilitate a team building day. I always remember he arrived in and he had a pre-prepared flip chart. And he'd written up about 7 outcomes. Now, this was a small team of about 12, and they were all geniuses. They were all financial gurus and tax and VAT experts, so they were. And he wrote up the outputs. I always remember it on a marker on a flip chart. And he said, it's like this. He said, this is what I want. This is what I expect to achieve at the end of the year. And he put them up there and he said, if you can achieve that, that's all I'm interested in. And if you can have that done by 3:00 in the afternoon, you're free to go and play golf. And there was absolute apoplexy in the room. A third of it, I was looking on, a third of it thought this was brilliant. And I could see their minds already saying, well, that means if I got in at 7 a.m, beat the traffic in, brought my lunch with me, I could be out the gap playing golf at 2:30 or 3. So a third of it began to see the opportunities. Another third said, no, that's not right. Our mother said it's good to be busy and it's good to be seen at 8 o'clock at night. And the big badge of honour was to have your car seen in the car park on a Saturday morning. That's what another third, their value was. Yeah. And another third hadn't made up their mind yet. They were confused. But I always think if we were to focus on the simple 6 outcomes in our life and lead from there. And Garry, you began by talking about being reactive. You know, that brilliant book, I still think it's the best time management book in the world, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. The first habit. Now, what Covey did was he was a teacher. I mean, you mentioned Joe Schmidt, Niall, Brian Cody was a teacher, Pat McDonough was a teacher, Pádraic O'Cage was a teacher. All the great business gurus, in my opinion, were great teachers. But Covey would ask business people, where did you screw up? What were you doing wrong? And the first thing was reactive. So what Covey did was he looked at the things that they were doing wrong, and the first habit of highly effective people should be to be proactive. It's the opposite to being reactive. Yeah. And it's a great lesson for our listeners to take. Instead of being reactive, be proactive. That's my thinking on it.
Pádraic, you're saying that one of the best books you ever read was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People for time management. Again, time management is a big issue for so many people, and that's why, again, they become busy fools, isn't it?
Yeah. Time management is the most in-demand executive training program in the world for exactly the reason we're talking about, because it has become such an addiction. My own story is a funny one. 30 years ago, I was given a time management course in Kilmallock in County Limerick. Yeah, and some of your Limerick listeners will know where that is.
I know the story.
One of the things is when you're given a time management course, it's important to arrive on time. Yeah? Like the teacher, the guru, So that was in the old days before there was a dual carriageway from Galway to Limerick. There was no mobile phones. There was certainly no Google. There was a mobile phone, but there was no Google. And I was driving down. I was a little bit late leaving Galway. The kids were awake that night. And I got stuck in traffic. It was raining. It was foggy. And I'd come through Limerick City and I was looking. I knew there was a turn off for Kilmallock to go to Brewery. I couldn't find it. So here am I. I'm the guru. Time management was my thing. And I often ask groups of people, what do you think I did? And they kind of look up a bit and all, and they say, you rang somebody or you stopped and you looked for a map. What did I do? I didn't do any of those. I had a fast car in those days. I put the boot down and I went faster. Yeah. Because I knew it would be there for 9:30. And I swear to God, at 9:30 on the button, I arrived. but not in Kilmallock, in a place called Charleville, which is about 7 miles to the right of Kilmallock. I knew I was in deep trouble at this stage, so I took up the old phone, and Caroline Bowles, I'll always remember it, she was my client, and a brilliant company called Senator Engineering. And I rang Caroline anyway, and I said, Caroline, you won't believe it. Pádraic, what's the story? And I was making excuses. I said I was delayed and I got caught behind her. She then asked me a very direct question. Pádraic, where are you? I says, I'm lost, Caroline. No, Pádraic, where are you exactly? And I spilled it. I said, I'm in Charleville. Whereabouts exactly in Charleville, Pádraic? I said, I'm outside the fire station. She said, okay. What you do now is you turn 180 degrees, you drive up the road 100 yards, and you take the first right. You'll be in Kilmallock in about 12 minutes. We'll put the course off till 10 o'clock. And I said, wow, I've gotten away with this. Brilliant. And then she put in the kicker, and it's kind of the message. She said, by the way, Pádraic, she said, there is no point going faster if you're going in the wrong direction. There's no point going faster if you're going in the wrong direction. And I think it's a brilliant lesson for all of us. Stop, pause, look at the direction we're going in. That's being proactive as opposed to reactive.
So can we just close then on this method that you spoke about, Niall? To make sure you're going in the right direction, plan your week. What is it exactly that you do for half an hour to an hour on a Sunday?
It's very simple. I write at the very top of the page, WIN, what's important now? And we look at the week. So I have a call every Monday morning with Connie where we sit for an hour, have a chat, and we prioritise. So what's important now? And we kind of do it I do it under business. So in terms of time locking our diaries, who am I meeting? What am I doing? What do I need to follow up on? Who I need to ring? Connie does the same. So we kind of come up with a plan for the business in terms of what went well last week, what does next week look like, what didn't we do well, what are we going to change? So I'm kind of journaling. I'm kind of just in my own mind saying, okay, if I write it down, it happens, and 95% of it does. Then obviously under family and business and kids, and whether it's coaching the kids or swimming or football or different things, putting it into the diary and locking it down, and then stuff that you might do yourself. So I mean, it's that simple. It's on one page. It's in I buy 10 of them every year. It's the Atomic Habits Diary. You both have one. I mean, and it just, there's a nice system there that's just nearly focusing on. It's one line for each. So I mean, it's not rocket science.
No,
but it works.
And isn't that being proactive then? That's actually taking action for your week rather than waking up on Monday morning, looking at your phone, and then that actually dictates your week.
Now, I have to confess, if you were to ask me 52 Sundays, I would say probably 40 of the Sundays.
Yeah, but that's
excellent. Yeah. That's excellent.
But it does, it certainly helps. Well, it helps focus my mind, because if I don't do it, the weeks I don't do it, all of a sudden, Monday, you're reacting. You're in bad form. You're on the back foot. So there you go.
It's the difference between winning the week and losing the week.
100%.
Warren Buffett says it best. He says, what's the difference between successful people and very successful people? The very successful people are brilliant at saying no. And we, I'm sure, say yes to far too much. So you got to be disciplined with your time. Have that Smácht, have that accountability, write it down and make it happen. But the WIN, I don't know where it came up or what I'm doing it for years. Yeah.
And then you're going in the right direction as to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks a million, Pádraic. Thanks a million, Niall. And thanks a million to you, the listeners. Again, if you're enjoying Wellth Talks, please do share it with your friends and colleagues. Leave us a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to the show on. And we look forward to you joining us again next Friday.